person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He do they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Poor man pikin, they the street, they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, my people make you shout. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come, man of the masses. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Mayegun diary politico. Oh yo yo.
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you once again from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun live.
Facebook, YouTube, Mayegun diary. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í kó níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary.
Thank you so much for joining me once again. Please share this broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them Mayegun today.
Mayegun diary, diary politico. Mayegun diary, Godfatherism, kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary, ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o, kẹ́kọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu. Mayegun diary,
Sanwo-Iku that denied that nobody died in the End SARS protest of October 20, 2020. Almost 3 years ago, there are many of you as well who also said nobody died. Today, there is a leaked memo from the government of Lagos State Agency where they are about to commit 103 people, 3 corpses, into a mass burial. Omo, it's not going to go down. Murderers. Your leaders are murderers. And let that sink in very well. It could be any of you. It could be any of your family members. It could be me. It could be anybody. 103 souls were slaughtered for asking for an end to police brutality. The government that killed them denied them in death. They denied their family from giving them a befitting burial. They denied their death. Now they are about to spend 62 million naira to bury them secretly. There is actually a funeral home in Lagos that is about to perform that. Who has been keeping all these bodies? Who are those behind this? Motideo. Good morning to all of you once again. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun live. And this is Mayegun's diary. Politico. For those who have been following Mayegun's diary Politico for a while, I have been the diary where all the political happenings in Nigeria, especially the criminals ruling Nigeria and their atrocities, I have always been keeping records. In October 2020, young people decided to peacefully protest against police brutality. When it first started, it was like a pastime for these young people. Well organized, so coordinated, peaceful. And it lasted for weeks. They were demanding for an end to SARS that has turned to a terrorist organization within the Nigeria police. Their demands were very, very clear. Non-violence. If you don't do this, we are not going away. What did Buhari's government do? APC government. What did they do? They started looking for who are their leaders. Who are those who are in control of these new people? It was very unusual. Usually in Nigeria, for those of us who grew up in Nigeria in the 80s, 90s, and possibly early 2000s, we knew then that if a national protest was going to happen, it was usually called by the NLC. But for the first time, unconventional group of young people did conventional thing in an unconventional way that shook the system, the establishment of Nigeria, PDP, APC. But here, when they couldn't find anybody to call their leaders, they paid influencers to start attacking the purpose of that protest. And as if it was probably planned, it was time to clamp on them. What did they do? First, they mobilized some ragtag, jobless people to stage their own protest that they support SARS, and they were supporting SARS. It was messy. All this couldn't break them. It was spreading like wildfire. At a point, they started sending thugs to them to break them. All of these videos, I mean, they exist today. Until the day they threatened them that the whole thing must end, and it must end now. In Lagos State, they declared a curfew when, at least if you are a Lagosian, when your government declare curfew at 12 noon, and they tell you that you have to be back to your houses before 4 p.m. Anything after 4 p.m., if you see whatever you see, you get. That was the threat. Now, that same day, the government of Lagos State, they went straight to Lekki Toll Gate to remove all the security cameras, turned off the light, and they sent their soldiers. As the soldiers left their barracks, all the videos exist, including all of the killings that took place outside Lekki, including areas where people were not even protesting. But because it was like a license to kill for all policemen, you know, they considered the protest against them. And for being against them, they were given the license to kill when the government couldn't break them. This is the timeline of what EndSARS was. Until that unfaithful, horrible day when they massacred them at the same Lekki Toll Gate. Then the denial started. The propaganda started. All of us that saw the EndSARS protest, where you saw Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, all Nigerians participated. Suddenly, they started changing the narrative. We saw when they used the BRT bus to mobilize their thugs to allow Hausa to attack those who were there, to mobilize their thugs, armed thugs, to Lekki Toll Gate. We also have the record of all of the threats. Guess what? When they were spreading this word, what actually made this APC, Egbekegbe, believe that they could get away with this murder, with this massacre, is because Around that NSAS time, just 3 days before the massacre, they started telling those who are their Oshins, their cretins, they started saying the Igbos are those behind NSAS. Therefore, the Igbos want to destroy Lagos. I remember this very well. And like magic, the violence started. It was like they felt like they are doing something right. They were burning their own BRT park in Ojota. They were burning their own properties just to make the violence that was going to happen 3 days later legit. And it actually happened. All coordinated. After the killings, they started taking the bodies away. That was how we knew that it was all planned. When they believed that they couldn't control that protest, instead of looking into the cause of that protest, address all the grievances peacefully, no fight, the government of Nigeria decided to turn to violence. We saw DSSC attached to lawmakers, security officials attacked to lawmakers in Abuja using their own government vehicles to convey thugs with dangerous weapons to different locations where protests were happening. All of these videos, they exist today. But like magic, they decided to change the narrative by blaming them for the violence. They said these NSAS protesters said they will burn down Nigeria, they will burn down Lagos. And guess what? They knew where these people were converging. There was no record of violence. Sure, you get? So when they finally killed them, they started taking their bodies away. Yes, they started taking their bodies away. People who survived the horrible videos, live coverage of the killings, or more, a day after that, government of Lagos State sent cleaners to Lekki Toll Gate, different cleaners, different cleaning trucks to brush to brush the crime scene. We saw all of that. But a few days after that, when they started paying people, we saw the videos, the pictures of Sanwo-Iku visiting the victims, shot. Baba, it didn't take years before they started denying. Just few days, 2 days, 48 hours, they started denying that nothing happened. It was all staged. There was no blood, there was no body. And then they set up a panel, and they called it NSAS panel. Ladies and gentlemen, at the panel, people who are looking for their children, looking for their relatives, a lot of them bombarded the panel with the names and image of their loved ones that they believed were either at Lekki Toll Gate, or they were caught in the other violence they unleashed. Almost they shot and killed people. They were throwing people bodies into the river. All of these are on record. They took Sanwo-Iku to CNN at a point. When they squeezed him, he said one person died. This is the clip.
What has happened is there's been so many footages that we're seeing that people have shown, but we've not seen bodies. We've not seen relatives. We've not seen anybody truly coming up to say, indeed, XYZ, I'm a father, I'm a mother to someone, and I cannot find that person. Nobody has turned up, right? I've been to the ground. There's no scratch of blood anywhere there.
Who ordered people to be shot, and which branch of security services carried out the shootings?
Well, I mean, from the footage that we could see, because there are cameras that are at that facility.
Everyone sit down.
It seems to me that there will be men in military uniform, which will be Nigerian army or something.
So you're saying that it was military officers who ordered peaceful protesters to be shot at Lekki?
Yeah, that's what the pictures, yes. They were there. That's what the footage, I mean, that's what it shows.
Will that CCTV footage at the toll gate be part of the investigation that you have now called for?
It will be. Certainly it will be. It will be. And they're starting on Monday. They're going to be available for the judicial panel to review. It will be.
Do you commit to a full investigation of what happened on the ground?
Absolutely, I do.
And will people be held accountable?
They certainly would. I mean, we'll do everything to ensure that they are held accountable. We'll do everything.
It's a very simple question. Will they be held accountable?
Well, I mean, to the extent that I'm not the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, I mean, I'm the governor of the state, right? The report will be out. We will channel the report to all the relevant authorities in the state to ensure that everyone that is found culpable is accountable for the act.
It's 2017. They've been announced.
That was what Sonwo-Iku told CNN. And up to this time, nobody has been held responsible. And let me tell you the backstory. They set up a panel. And that panel, guess what? Indicted Lagos State government, indicted the military, confirmed that people died. And in fact, the families, like he said, nobody came forward that their family member died. All right. The person who happened to be, what is the name of that sort of a medical practitioner that is a specialist when it comes to dead bodies? They usually work in the morgue. They conduct autopsy and stuff like that. What is the name they give to them? Let me go and read the comments where they will tell me. That just flew off my head right now. Coroner. The Lagos State coroner, the person who is kind of in charge of when it comes to dead bodies, attended, that person attended the tribunal, okay, that they set up. And in his own testimony, he said they have over 100 bodies brought brought into their morgue by the security agents that night of the shooting at Lekki. There is a confession in that report that the military, the police, when the military came and they shot and killed people, they took their bodies. When people are running about, the police came back. They started shooting again, and they also took bodies away. The Lagos State coroner confessed. Chena coroner be chief coroner, chief coroner or coroner in chief. This person actually testified that over 100 bodies that came with different gunshot wounds were brought in that night. And when the panel came out, they indicted Lagos State government and they told Lagos State government to pay compensation, okay, of over 400 million naira. Compensation because of NSASO. For those who became, you know what I mean, over 400 million naira. But the government of Lagos State, they rejected the report of the panel. You know why they rejected the report? They said the report was already published online before they submitted the report to the governor. And because of that, it simply means the panel that they put together, it was the governor that put panel together to investigate NSAS and what happened in Lagos. When the panel said these so and so people should be punished, in fact, they should be charged for murder. Guess what? The person that came to represent the military at the tribunal, who came to lie and said they were shooting blank bullets, they weren't shooting people. The video you saw was fake. It was fake news to tarnish image of Nigeria and cause a revolution in Nigeria. They blacklisted all these NSAS. You know what happened to the guy? 2 months after he testified at the Lagos State tribunal, 2 months after that, they gave him promotion in the military. And as for those who committed the murder, Thunder, even when people were mentioning names of DPOs of different police stations in Lagos State, as those who actually just came out to kill people. These are not like where people are protesting. No, we are talking about areas whereby, there were no actually protests or anything. They went there. They were looking for young people. If they see you in group, they will shoot you. They say, stop. If you try to run, they will shoot you and take the body away. People were mentioning these names at the panel. Some people knew those who killed their relatives. Do you want me to tell you another shocker? In case if you have not been following it before. Most of those they killed during the EndSARS protest in Lagos State, most of them are Yorubas. This Olori Brukuso, they killed them and they took their bodies away. Now, somebody dropped this. I heard that they are already saying it's fake news. Kosiwala. Somebody said that they should move on. It is now a past tense. Let everybody just move on. Yeah, Another person said, Tifnubu built Lagos. Since Tifnubu built Lagos, everybody should try and work with him. All this thing, let it go. And people are saying, if any of them are your family member, you see what you have on your screen, Say it's PPA clearance. And in it, I'm sorry if it is not so clear on your screen. I did my best because I had to broaden it and then, widen it onto your screen. But I can do something, okay? I'll tell you what is in there. Now, according to what you have on this screen, this is like a memo where they sent memo to the governor and say, we want to do so and so, and we need your approval before we can go ahead. So inside this, what you have on your screen, make I read them out so that you can know the wordings. It is a memo, developed by the PPA, they call themselves. Now, it is a letter of no objection, mass burial for the 103 year 2020 EndSARS, the year 2020 EndSARS victims. We refer to your letter dated 13th July 2023 with reference number LSM 11/G/NS/013-1/23 in respect of the above subject matter. Following our review of your letter and the document attached, we note the following. 1. Mr. Governor's approval. 2. Minutes of ministerial tenders board meeting. 3. Procurement planning committee. 4. Sign off. Following review of your requests and based on the information provided therein, the agency has no objection to the award of contract to Messiah's TOS Funeral Limited at a total cost of 61.285 million naira only for the mass burial for the 103 the year 2020 EndSARS victims. 4. In view of the above, please note that 1. Ensure a quadruplicate copy of the letter of award for Messiah TOS Funeral Limited, registered with the PPA within 72 hours. 2. Ensure the submission of certificate of suppliers registration with PPA in appropriate class. 3. Ensure all statutory taxes and deductions are remitted by the supplier. 4. The letter of award is to be accompanied with a copy of this letter of no objection, certificate of registration, renewal with PPA, and receipt of payment of admin fee, 0.25% of the contract, to be paid before release of fund. 5. A. Refer to Head of Service Circular with reference number circular/HOS/20/volume1/051 dated 15th May 2020. It is mandated that the 0.25% admin fee is paid to the PPA and the 0.5% agreement fee is paid to Ministry of Justice. B, service providers should indicate in writing where there is the need for STO or MDA finance and accounts to deduct at source or payment directly by the service providers before the release of funds. 6, pursuant to section blah, 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 blah. 7, please be guided accordingly. 8, thank you. Signed, Mr. Onofowote Fatai Idowu, Director General of the PPA. They want to bury 103 Nigerians that they killed during EndSARS. They want to bury them in mass graves. Their families cried. They brought their pictures to the panel. They cried to the media. And the government media and their influencers, they continue to try and drown their voices. They said nobody died. If anybody died, won't their family come out? They pretended that nobody came out at all. Even when documents, videos, interviews of these people who are still pleading, give us the body of our people that you killed. Give us the body of our son. Let us access them. They said they won't release them except Lagos State government release them. And all of this have been buried by the media. By the government via the media. I'm telling you, people have been on their own. Now imagine you reading it in the news that the government of Lagos State is about to bury 103 people. According to them, they have no family. They have nobody looking for them. They were just shot and killed during EndSARS. Their killers have been promoted. They have been paid salaries, and they've continued to probably doing the bidding of these murderers. A lot of you continue to swear on your life that nobody died. 103 people that they shot and killed. Some of them they captured, they arrested them alive and they tortured them to death and they dumped their bodies in different morgue. Now they want to bury them as people who have nobody, people who have no families. And you think that is not a crime against humanity? In your book, you're going to say it's fake news, Abi. It is draining. We're just going to leave this here for posterity's sake. It is not you now. And that is why you are watching me. And it could be you. It could be anybody. All they need is just to give a reason, an excuse to kill you. Always remember that. Going forward, the owners of the woman that owned the burial or funeral home, that's the woman on the right. That's Sanwo-Iku on the left. Sanwo-Iku inspecting a funeral home a while back. And today, she will be paid 61 million naira or 61.2 million naira, okay, to bury 103 Nigerians that, that they killed and denied, all right? And it could be you. It could be anybody. Talking about justice, okay. Justice in Nigeria is for the highest bidder. You must be willing to what? To pay the highest if you want justice in Nigeria. Currently, after the sham election and the aftermath of it, and a lot of you are currently hoping that the judiciary will probably save the day. And a lot of you believe they have a lot to lose. They're all eyes on judiciary and all that. Just yesterday, we had a report where Wike was indicted as one of those playing the arm twisting role of pressuring the judiciary not to listen to or look into any evidence this time around. They should, in fact, use technicalities and knock all these petitions out. Fine. Now, today, the reports came that Wike and other governors who also have cases in different tribunals, they were attending the President of Appeal Court's son's induction or whatever. Abi? So what does that tell you? You can enjoy the whole theater, the drama, while they last. But from what we also heard today, in case if you haven't, the Tifnumbu's lawyers, they have responded to Atiku that said he should be declared winner and Kolu should be disqualified because Kolu forged his certificate, forged his birth certificate, his educational certificate, his birth certificate. Is an unknown alien, a Guinean from Guinea, Conakry. He is also a drug lord that forfeited $460,000 for heroin trafficking in United States of America. All of this plead, right? The only one that Iran picked, make I tell you, they agree that, okay, if there's going to be a rerun, they don't want Peter Obi to be part of that rerun. Iran said that they would prefer a rerun with Atiku because if those who are pressuring, according to them, those who are pressuring the judiciary, they don't even have enough number to challenge them in a rerun. So in a nutshell, Tifnumbu's lawyers, on the other hand, are saying, if there's going to be any rerun, it should be between Atiku and Tifnumbu. And the obedient have responded to that. Just yesterday, there's this kind of a rumor, sort of, right? Where they were saying that Lamidiot Apampas has been declared the chairman of Labour Party, blah, 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 and all that. So, and then the part of, no, they don't, I mean, it doesn't want it to run with, be included. They are saying that you are getting disqualified. You are now trying to attach yourself to a rerun. If there's going to be any rerun, you will not be part of it. That's kind of things that they're like throwing back as well. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard that in September, the United Nations, you know what they call the UNGA, General Assembly, something, United Nations in New York. Well, September is still like 2 months away. And you all know that there has been so much controversy around Tifnumbu's drug record, including criminal record and all that with FBI as well. And some people believe that with the level of compromise that they have on him, it won't be advisable for him to go to America. He has immunity, he can go to America, he can go to anywhere. Putin in Russia, from Russia, right? Putin can go to America, United Nations. I mean, maybe not now. I'm just saying. Like he's been there anyway, despite the fact that Russia, because one thing is that United Nations is a place where everybody can still go, even dictators. America won't do anything to them. But I don't know if Tifnumbu have that phobia for what's unexpected or something. Now they have released a statement. Their statement is that Tifnumbu will not be going to that America. It will be represented by Shitty Man. So that has also raised some kind of, concerns as well. What's going on? Like you should go to America and just let your people have something to celebrate. Sure you get. let the Lagos Sabobaku have something to even brag about in this whole mess that is going on in Nigeria. Go to America. Others said that if you go to the US for the first time, the other world leaders will probably want to have a chat with him. The press will get a hold of him. They may not be able to smuggle him here and there too much. And this embarrassment can actually go global. The Bulaba and the rest of that. There's so many things, Sha, that a lot of people are kind of looking into and saying, you know what? Somebody should go and represent him. Isn't that shocking? That is also being discussed. There are also here the report that Tifnumbu is delaying his ministerial list. In fact, they said it's more or less like as they are writing the list, they will just tear them. Write another one, they will tear them. You know why? Tifnumbu needs legitimacy. And the legitimacy he believes he's going to get is going to come from his strongest oppositions, especially Peter Obi. That if he could get stronger people, I mean, like, very much influential people within the obedient movement that will accept to be ministers, they can then go ahead and announce it. 2 days ago, the news was breaking news. Tifnumbu's ministerial list arrived in National Assembly. Okay? That never happened. So the reason is because, according to them, they need few people from other places, PDP. Some people in PDP have already accepted. People like Buba Galadima with Kwakwanso, they've already agreed to be part of his government. They are just waiting for him to announce. Others are paying to be ministers. But when they write the list, they will tear it and they will start writing another one. Because when they assure them of people, somebody is going to join them. And later they will speak to that person and the other person will be like, no, please, I'm not. Are you there? But Showore, I don't know if they reached out to Showore. Me and Showore had this, emergency, or should I say, a surprise video chat today. And you know what he said to me? He didn't even let me kind of say hello. He just, Mayegun obedient. Mayegun, we know that you are now obedient. You have turned to obedient. I was like, Showore, how you dey? It was like, yeah, obedient. See, I told you that time that a lot of these people that are shouting Yoruba Nation, they are for Tifnumbu, and all of that stuff. Anyway, see, Obi himself is for the establishment. He doesn't like, you know what I mean? I was like, sure. So what about the idea of us having a common enemy? In this establishment, so to say. No. Obi is not this, They are all going to get appointments from Tifnumbu. That was me and Nesho. I said, okay, don't worry, we'll talk about that later. I will bring you here someday. But just before I bring him here is his own view on what Tifnumbu is up to. Show.
Ṣé minister ni mí nígbà tí mo ń jà Fabiola? Ṣé mi wá jẹ́ minister of defence ni? Yeah, and I was 22 years old at that time. Nígbà yẹn Fabiola wọlé fún mi ní 800,000 naira mi ò gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. 800,000 naira ní 1993 ó ju $800,000 nísìnyí. Tó máa fún yàn ní $800,000 nísìnyí mọye ilé tó máa rà, mọ́tò tó máa rà. Àárọ̀ la rí mi pẹ̀lú Bentley ni. Tẹ̀lé wá pè mí wá sórí ètò yìí ńgbà yẹn pẹ̀lú tẹ̀lé ráyè tí
ẹ̀yin àtàbíọ́lá àtàwọn olóṣèlú jọ wà ń bẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe kéré tóun nígbà náà wọ́n lè sọ̀rọ̀ kan sáwọn olóṣèlú nígbà náà wọ́n láti gbà yín náà wọ́n ti fojú kiri kan wò.
Gbogbo wọn jókòó ńgbà inú yàrá Abíọ́lá inú pálọ̀ Abíọ́lá fẹ́ẹ̀ tóbi tó bíbà lẹ́ẹ̀mejì gbogbo wọn jókòó sórí chair wọ́n ti pín owó. So ìgbà tá a dé tí Abíọ́lá introduce mi sí wọn pé student union leader tó ń jà fún mandate àwọn tó máa tán àwọn agbẹ̀yìnbẹ́bọ jẹ́ lé. Yes, mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń dárúkọ wọn nínú mi ò fẹ́ dárúkọ sí gbogbo àwọn yẹn lọ́dẹ̀ gbẹ̀yìnbẹ́bọ jẹ́ lóòótọ́ gbogbo wọn ló padà lọ di mínísítà Abacha tó gbọ́n Abíọ́lá lọ́bẹ̀ lẹ́yìn gbogbo pápátá tó lọ jókòó sínú bẹ́ẹ̀. Ìgbà tí mo dìde tí n fẹ́ máa lọ tí Abíọ́lá fún mi lówó tí mi ò gbà á l'Abíọ́lá ṣe dìde tó tẹ̀lé mi ó ní òun ò fún yàn lówó rí kó má gbà á àtọkùnrin àtobìnrin.
àkọ́ àpò lẹ́gùn kọ̀ọ̀kan ìyẹn kọ́wọ́ ságbàlagbà lọ́wọ́.
àwọn ọmọdé ò yàtọ̀ kí lẹ mi ò rẹ wọṣọ mi ò wá gbádà mi bathroom slippers gan mo wọ̀ lọ sínú meeting yẹn. So but nǹkan tó yẹ tí ó ṣe dáa kí wọn máa ṣe nǹkan tó dáa náà nìyẹn. Gbogbo àwọn yẹn náà tó ń di mínísítà ń gbà yẹn tẹ bá béèrè wọn lénìí kò sí inú wọn tí ẹ lè mọ̀. Àwọn bàbá Tọ́pẹ́ bàbá Jákàndé àwọn gbogbo ìmí ti kúnnú wọn mínísítà yẹn náà ò dín kankan fún wọn because ẹ mọ̀ pé rọrùn igi àbí ẹyẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ kò sí bí ẹ ṣe lè ní owó tó tí Nàìjíríà yóò bá dà owó yẹn ò já mọ́ anything torí ẹ̀ tẹ́ bá lọ pàtí ń gbà mí bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́ bá lọ pàtí ń gbà mí àwọn commissioner máa bẹ MC gbé announce my name now I'm a former commissioner àwọn ayé ìrántí ẹ mọ́ ńgbà tó ò ṣe nǹkan kan fún wọn but ṣé anybody wà ní ayé yìí ní Nàìjíríà yìí tí ò mọ orúkọ Awólọ́wọ̀ ni don ṣe bímọ lé ní Ọbáfẹ́mi you will somehow know the man.
kódà ọmọ Nàìjíríà gan mọ orúkọ Nelson
Mandela bẹ́ẹ̀ ni
ju ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀
àwọn leaders wọn lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kò ń ṣe pé wọ́n mọ Nelson Mandela wọ́n mọ orúkọ ìyàwó.
So sorry to all of you who didn't understand Yoruba. That was Sowore when he was asked if Tifnumbu offers him a ministerial appointment, would he take it? So he had to take them through the memory lane that, we know that others are kind of going to be ministers in order to, because it's the purpose. But as for himself, he's had a chance of even seeing these guys up close. He's talking about Tifnumbu, Jákàndé, and the rest of them. Sure you get? And it was like, for what he believes in, like people are saying right now that when it comes to politics in Nigeria right now, Sowore and Sowore's supporters, they are those who are actually like as clean as a wool. I'm going to kind of agree with that, but being clean as a wool is probably not enough. There's also more. So when he thrown it at me and he said, see, you have abandoned Yoruba nation and you are obedient now. And I was like, Sowore. So you were able to see me talk about the obedient and the rest of them, Abi? And you did not see or you did not hear about Yoruba Union. Is that not hypocrisy? Is that not an abosi? And you know what he told me? He said, but you didn't tell me. Now I was like, when did I call you that I have become obedient? Because you said that just now, but I didn't call you that I'm obedient. So I didn't call you that I have Yoruba Union. So you saw that and you saw what you wanted to see. And I was like, we'll talk about that later. But you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about these people. I was like, but you actually throwing it at me that way. It won't allow me. But that's how kind of how that came. Like I said, it was a surprise chat. It is true that a lot of people, some people are saying that, what about the oppositions who are also going to share from the 70 billion and 40 billion money for the National Assembly? And they are kind of feeling like, oh, that justifies it. That, well, if Tifnumbu is giving your money, or if they're actually taking that a chunk from what's supposed to be the palliative for the poor, okay? But what about those who they are also going to give it to? It's the same thing around when you have, for those of you who believe in that, your system anyway, right? When you believe that the politicians who are fighting for you or saying they are fighting for you are actually fighting for you. Are you with me? Especially some of them who actually took advantage of that obedient movement as well. So there are so many things that you are going to eventually learn, but none of this in any way reduces the credibility of Peter Obi himself. If you don't like him, It's understandable. Sure, you get. But the thing is that what you should try and do is that don't make things up to justify why you don't like him. You get what I mean? Don't make them up. Give us something. It will be so much appreciated if you can give us something. Somebody like me, oh, you know me, I know they wait. If I see, I go talk. I won't see and pretend that I'm not seeing it. But when I see propaganda, I don't join them. And then waiting for that person to come and prove that didn't happen. I'm not like that. But unfortunately, people always have their own, they always have their own way of looking at things.